we'll get started with some introductions. I am Erin Cremone. I'm the principal here at South Fayette Middle School. I see some familiar names on the call, but some unfamiliar names as well. So just a little bit of background. I live in the district. I have two children. One's in first grade, one's in third grade. And this is now my third year here as a principal at South Fayette. Prior to coming to South Fayette, I was in the North Allegheny School District, and prior to that, I was in the Mount Lebanon School District, both of those in administrative roles, and then as a teacher, I taught in the Keystone Oaks School District. And also on the call, we have Dr. Maurer.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Maurer. I am the associate principal here at South Fayette Middle School, and I am in my 14th year here in the district. Love working here. I started here as a teacher, actually, as a general music and band director, and was in that role for 6 years, and am now in my 7th year as an assistant principal, associate principal. So I also have two children. My son's in 4th grade. My daughter is in 1st grade. So they keep us busy as well. So Dr. Cremone and I are pretty much living the same life here with our children, and busy taking them to all our various activities and events and things outside of school. But it really puts things into perspective for us as parents, and we always have that lens and perspective, which we feel helps. We're not at middle school yet, and I think when our children get to that point, we may be calling some of you for advice and help. But as for now, we're just enjoying being the leaders of our middle school. So it's nice to meet everyone virtually.
So just a little overview of some of the things that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about Canvas, different activities, World of Work, School Safety Week, Spirit Days, grade level activities, our speaker series, our Chill project, some upcoming events, and then some available resources. So just so you have an idea of what we're going to be jumping into today. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is Canvas, and many of you may be familiar with this, but many of you may not. Our students use Canvas as their learning management system. This is where the teachers post homework, different activities, projects. They also, this is where the students' assignments will be placed. And so all parents have the opportunity to view their students' Canvas pages as a parent observer. And so, like I said, linked in here that I will share when this is over are different links to ways to access how to become an observer for your kids' Canvas classes, or for your kids' classes on Canvas. I will say that it is something, once you are able to become an observer, it's really a great way to check in. Hey, how's that project coming in ELA? Or, oh, I see that you started unit 2 in math. How's that going? So it's really a great way for you to be involved with what's happening with your students in Canvas. So that those are all clickable links there. And again, I will share this at the end of the presentation.
I am also sharing some of those links through the chat as we talk, for those of you live, if you want to look at it today during the presentation. We also wanted to highlight our clubs and activities. This is such an exciting part of our middle school. We know that the intermediate school has offered clubs and activities after school, but they continue here in the middle school, and there is so many more that we offer. And as your student goes into the high school, there's even more opportunities to get involved in a wide variety of activities. But here in our middle school, one thing that Dr. Cremone and I have been focusing on is trying to corral all of the clubs and activities that we offer and put them into one catalog. So there is a link on here for that catalog where you can see the full menu of offerings that we have here in the middle school. And they are also available, that long list is also available on our Canvas pages. So that has been shared with our students. It's also available on the middle school website. So like we said, we've been trying to, we saw and kind of heard from families and parents and guardians over the years that We offer a whole lot, but they seem to be all over the place. So we wanted to kind of put them all in a one-stop shop for our students and for you, our families. So you can head to one of those places and see the full catalog. Some of those clubs have deadlines for signing up. Some have an application process. Some there's a tryout, or there's a process for students to get involved. Others are kind of rolling. They might be accepting students throughout the school year. There might be opportunities for a tryout or an application later in the year for second semester. So they're all very different, but they're all spelled out in that catalog. So it makes it very nice and easy to see who the sponsor is, what is the process for getting your child or your student involved. So be sure to check those out. The meeting dates are also available on the announcements that we have in school, also on the weekly announcements that are sent out through School Messenger on Fridays. And we have an activities calendar that is linked here in the presentation, but also available on the website at all times. You will see, if you travel to that calendar, it says SFMS activities calendar. And for every day from 3 o'clock on, it really maps out what is being offered here after school. But we always kind of joke about our buses being empty at the end of the school day once our activities start, because we have so many students involved in clubs and activities, and our school really comes to life and is very busy after 3 o'clock. So we suggest this as a great way for your child to make friends, to kind of broaden that I guess list of friends or partners, acquaintances here at the school. Those peer relationships are really important at the middle level, and our clubs and activities give the opportunity to widen that variety. So one of the new clubs and activities that we are highlighting this year, it's brand new, along with a few other clubs, but one exciting program is our esports program. This is one of our innovation programs that we are bringing to the school district. And esports is something that has been evolving very quickly. It came from the brainchild of a few students that approached us last school year. And we wanted to make sure that they felt heard, that they had a space, that a place where they belong in our after school clubs and activities. So it was 4 6th grade students that came to us and approached us last year with a vision, a passion. And from there, it has completely grown and exploded to the high school now, where we have a high school esports team as well. But we ask you to follow on social media as this program continues to evolve. As you can see in the pictures there, I am one of the coaches, and also Mr. Picozzi, our 8th grade math teacher, is the assistant coach. We partnered with Waynesburg University's esports team. They came out and worked with our middle school students, and we held a tryout for the team. And we were able to field now 3 teams. We have Team Lions, Team Green, and Team White, with 12 students all competing in the PIEA League starting next week. So we're excited to play schools in the area that also have esports teams, and hope to win our first season in the new league.
So along that same line of highlighting some of our clubs and activities, at the end of the end of September, we had a pep rally and a students versus staff volleyball game. This was arranged by our cheerleading squad and our student council students. So 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students signed up for a chance to be randomly selected to represent the students in the volleyball game, and then they played against a group of our teachers. We also had performances by some of our school teams, by our cheerleaders, our band, and the lion mascot was also there for a little performance. And then we also had the opportunity to announce all of our fall sport athletes. So again, just really encouraging our students to get involved with a club, an activity, a sport, a music, the arts. So we just wanted to highlight that. That was a really fun day for the kids, for the teachers. They just really did a great job. Another highlight, to highlight one of our clubs, is our Spanish club. It's actually the world language clubs often work together. So if a student's in the Spanish club, the French club, or the German club, some of these opportunities are available to students in any of those clubs. But the Spanish club on Saturday, September 23rd, they went to the Latin American Caribbean Festival. They saw traditional dances, ate traditional food, they bought traditional handicrafts. So just another way for our students experience, to broaden their horizons, but also to make friends and make connections with one another here in our school community.
So last Friday was an exciting day. It was it was Dress Like Your Culture Day here throughout the entire school district, and it was incredible to see our students participating in this day. This was actually our second annual Dress Like Your Culture Day, and it came at the end of a week where that highlighted all of the and celebrated all the wonderful cultures and ethnicities that we have in our school district, all led by the work of our Shout Club. Social handprints overcoming unjust treatment. Our Shout Club has been very active in the school district, and it's under the direction of our DEIB director, our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging director, Dr. Chuck Herring. But Friday was just the culmination of a week of cultural events and activities, all aimed at celebrating, recognizing the cultures that exist in our school district. So it was great to see so many smiling faces and so many different cultural apparel from our students.
So shifting gears a little bit, but also keeping focus on our students. Our school district is one of 4 districts across the region who have collaborated to bring career readiness to the lives of our students. So those of you who are parents of 6th graders, you were introduced to this last year when your students were in 5th grade. The 5th grade was the first grade here at South Fayette to bring the world of work to South Fayette. So our 6th grade students actually have more experience with this than all of our teachers and our staff members and the rest of the building. But what's really neat about this is we are now bringing this to 7th and 8th grade as well. So what it is, it's career exploration. It's to help expose students to a variety of professional careers and opportunities. They have if you want to follow them on, it was Twitter, now it's X. If you want to follow them on X at PGH World of Work, you can really get a deep dive into what is happening across our region. It's South Fayette, Elizabeth Forward, Avonworth, and Duquesne school districts are the 4 districts that are really piloting this program and bringing it to the region. And we started the work last year, like I said, in 5th grade, so our 6th graders are familiar, but now our 7th and 8th graders will also become familiar with it. And the next year, all students in grades 1 through 8 will be exposed to different careers throughout their years here at South Fayette. And we will then South Fayette will be bringing this to the region along with the 3 other partner districts to roll this out to other school districts in the region. So it's pretty exciting for our students to be a part of something that is really going to now spread throughout Western Pennsylvania and honestly probably beyond Western PA. So it's based on the Holland Code, the RIASEC scores. And so RIASEC stands for Realistic, Investigative, Artistic, Social, Enterprising, and Conventional. And what it is, it's a framework to help identify personality traits and preferences when it comes to career choices and personal development. So each student in 7th grade this year took a survey to identify what their 3 leading letters are in RIASEC. So it's really about self-discovery, gaining insights into their interests, their preferences, their strengths, and then it's to set meaningful goals and to pursue fulfilling careers. And then it identifies careers that align with their personality traits. It looks like it got cut off a little bit at the bottom there, but really just having an opportunity to explore based upon their RIASEC scores, what are some of those careers that might align with what their interests are. It's also for personal growth, encouraging self-awareness and developing those essential life skills. With better decision-making, with the knowledge of their RIASEC, students can make informed decisions regarding their education. So our 8th graders who, before you know it, come January, February, are going to be needing to select their courses for high school. This will really help them focus in on what their interests might be, what types of careers or paths that they might want to go into and follow throughout the high school that really align with their personal interests and potential career choices. I have a link to the RIASEC survey here in the presentation. This is the survey that the students in 7th grade have taken. All of our staff have taken this survey too, and it might be fun for you at home with your families. I know I had my 1st and 3rd grader take it as well, just for fun, just to see where they land. So if you're talking to your students about it, if you have a 7th grader, they will have taken this at school, and the 8th graders will be taking this at a later point this year, and the 6th graders took it last year. So it was a fun family. I had my husband take it as well. And it's just really neat to kind of see where you land and what your interests are and how that can tie together. Before we move over to school safety, one of the things I did want to say is that the students will, in 7th and 8th grade this year, be exploring 6 different careers. Each career is tied to the RIASEC letters. So the 7th graders will be beginning that at the beginning of November. They're going to be exploring their first career, and then we're going to be taking that all the way through this school year.
All right, so this coming week is our school safety week. School safety is a top priority for our district. We want to make sure that all of our students not only feel safe, but are also empowered to be able to protect themselves, and they feel comfortable in our schools. We are so excited to announce that just last week, our school district was deemed an ALICE trained certified school district. So one thing that we would ask you to do is learn a little bit more about ALICE. If you go to alicetraining.com, you can find out the solutions that we use and the protocols that we have adopted as a school district. But our entire staff has been trained. We've taken a good amount of time and professional development in making sure that our staff are well prepared with protocols in the case of emergencies. October 16th, students and staff will practice those procedures that we have already learned to increase that situational awareness in the event of an emergency. Situational awareness is not only important just as in the school setting, but also at the mall, at the movie theater, where our students may be, where there may be an event where they need to act, and just be aware of the situation around them. So next week we will be discussing and having class discussions about what we would do if there was an intruder in the building, actions we would take, and again, the best way to protect themselves as students and our staff. And one thing that we try to do is make sure that we're not instilling fear or scaring students, but instead empowering our students to be able to protect themselves. So we will, in those discussions this year, we're going to be adding some different scenarios that we will present and have the students brainstorm, discuss as a class, and determine the best course of action they would take for a different scenario. We'll be practicing our enhanced door locking system that we have in the school, in our middle school and across the district. And all students, of course, will be reminded that these are drills, these are practices in case we ever have to use them in a real situation.
Some other upcoming events. I know as a parent myself, I like to get a jump on what the Spirit Week themes are. So this student council will be sponsoring a Fall Spirit Week, not next week, but the week after, beginning the week of October 23rd. So they wanted to make sure that we share what those themes are, and we will be sharing those with students, and we'll also be sending it home with staff. We'll have to the parents, and we'll also have posters around the school so that the students are aware of what the Fall Spirit Week is. And then part of the Fall Spirit Week is a fundraiser, again, sponsored by the Student Council to support Student Council. And that is a Chick-fil-A fundraiser. And our Student Council sponsor, Mrs. Hendel, wanted to make sure that we shared this with everybody. But the Chick-fil-A, the way it works is you do have to download the Chick-fil-A app. I know some other places you just have to give a code or say this is for South Fayette. This year, Chick-fil-A has changed it a little bit. So you do have to download the app. You can select curbside, drive-through, dine-in, or carry-out. And then at checkout, the app will ask for an organization code, and that's where you would put the code in. So we wanted to make sure we got that out to everybody early, since it is a little different than fundraisers have been in the past. But so mark it on your calendars. Nobody has to cook that night. Everybody can go to Chick-fil-A and help support our student council.
So one thing that we love about our middle school experience is the 6th grade camping trip. And we're really excited about bringing it back this year as an overnight trip again. This year, our 6th graders will take part in a 2-night, 3-day trip at Camp Conakry. Spencer, Camp Conakry Spencer. Teachers actually held a meeting already with the entire grade and gave an overview of the camp activities, the experiences within, but this is one of those trips that we talk about just having a lasting impact on students. For some, it's their first overnight trip. For some, it's their first kind of overnight in one with nature in the wilderness. So it really is a unique experience. But just doing that with their peers, with their teachers, and with parent volunteers, it's just a fun experience that you really can't replicate. In order to help pay for the trip, students are given a candle fundraiser opportunity. The fundraiser opportunity is due on October 18th, which is coming up. The Saris Candy fundraiser will begin in mid-October. So there are some opportunities for our students to raise funds and not pay full out of pocket for families. So we do promote and suggest that you take part in those fundraisers, as they could pay for the entire camping trip experience. But again, a 2-night, 3-day trip. Our students are definitely feeling the excitement. We've heard a lot of buzz about it. It's just such, as we say, such a unique experience to middle school, and one that they will remember for a lifetime.
And that trip, and we didn't put it on the slide, but that trip is in the spring. So it's not a fall trip, it is a spring trip. So for 7th grade, one of the things that we wanted to highlight for 7th grade is their outreach project that they're doing. They're working through the Light of Light rescue mission, and they are collecting, and I'm going to go ahead and, let me see. I clicked on the link, but it's not sharing. So let me check my share settings here. 1 second. I'm going to present. There we go. So the 7th grade team was really, they really did a great job of putting together this. It started last year with one mini team, and then it grew to the entire 7th grade. So they are collecting canned goods, cranberry and turkey gravy, for the Light of Light mission. And last year they collected so much corn. Their goal was 500, and then they had 965 total. So this year's goal for them is they're going to collect 2,000 canned goods, and we don't know the total yet, but they've begun collecting, and there were over 2,000 families who were served by this. So it is really a great way for us to work with our kids and teach about giving back and giving to the community, and giving to the less fortunate. So again, the goals. You can see here the different goals for each of the different teams. Their goals are each 500. And so they're doing a little internal competition between the 4 different teams within 7th grade. So anybody can donate, any grade level can donate, but they're really excited about this give back mission. And so each mini team has to meet their goal of 500 cans. And if they do, they'll have shortened classes before lunch. And then there's an incentive after lunch. And then whoever has the highest total will receive a top secret prize. So they were just very excited to share this with all of us, with all of you. And if you would like to send canned goods in, even if you have a student in 7th grade, in 6th grade or in 8th grade, you are welcome to send in your canned goods to help with this mission that they're on. I'm just going to switch back to the other one.
while you are switching back, I will kind of talk about the next thing we're going to discuss, which is our 8th grade Outsiders Day. So our 8th graders take part in a novel study. They study the Outsiders novel. And at the conclusion of the novel, there's a celebration, which is upcoming. It's coming up on November 1st, Wednesday, November 1st. We are going to have our annual Outsiders Day. It is a very popular day with 8th grade. There are games, activities, contests, all with the theme of the novel, The Outsiders. So there's costumes. We see a lot of fun, a lot of leather, I will say, a lot of leather jackets and different costumes. It's so much fun to watch what the students come up with to really match those characters that they've been studying in the novel. But our costume contests happen with prizes voted by the students. There are surprise fun events scheduled for this year, which will be new, a new addition to just a fun tradition of celebrating reading this novel. So more information will be shared by our 8th grade teachers, but we wanted to share the excitement of that upcoming event.
The next thing that we wanted to talk about is our speaker series, and I have to say, Dr. Maurer this was his brainchild. He had an idea. He saw a need last year for some speakers, some needs within the community, within our school community, and he really spearheaded this event, this speaker series. So we have each month there's a different speaker that will be coming to South Fayette to speak about a different topic. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Maurer to talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so this year we were also really pleased to be able to partner with some sponsors, Kidsburg, with our Shout Club, and with also UPMC Children's Hospital Foundation. They've allowed us to really get to that next tier, that next level of speakers. So we're thrilled to bring some really engaging speakers this year. As you can see here, our first one, we'll start with Sean Gibson. From the Josh Gibson Foundation. And from there, we will have just a unique variety of topics, speakers. This is open to the public, to the community, to anybody. We'd love to have you there. Bring your friends. It's going to be some fun educational nights, all based around storytelling, kind of hearing the unique stories of each speaker and their missions, their visions, and all the success that they've had through their accomplishments. So if you want to be inspired, you want to be motivated, come on out. Please feel free to bring the family, bring your children. It is really open to anyone, and they are all free of cost, thanks to our sponsors. So it's a unique opportunity that we're going to take part in, and these happen throughout the whole school year. But our first one is, as I said, Sean Gibson, and he is on a mission, and it's so timely. We are now in October, the onset of the playoffs for baseball and MLB. He is on a mission to really just celebrate the legacy of his great-grandfather, Josh Gibson, who was in the Negro Leagues and played here in Pittsburgh, and is just wants to make sure that we honor his legacy. And also they are on a mission to have the MLB's MVP trophy named after him. So he's leaning on us for support in that regard as well. But I'm sure you will be inspired if you are able to attend. It is on October 19th at next week at 7 p.m. And this is in our high school studio up in the high school. So we hope you can join us.
So as we're going through the agenda, we've talked a lot about our student supports and what we have available for our students. And we were fortunate enough this year to have a chill room. It's part of the AHN Chill Project. There was a chill room in the high school. Last year was the first year there. And as you can see, there are some pictures of the chill room. It's really a space that's available to all students when they need a break, when they're stressed, when they feel anxious, when maybe they have a big test coming up and they're just not sure how to calm themselves, or whenever they're having some stressful friend group issues or lunch issues. We have a full-time educator in there. Her name is Mrs. Froliger. And she works with students. Sometimes she'll give them sensory items to focus on their emotional regulation. Sometimes she'll work with them on calming strategies. I've seen them doing watercolors in there, or coloring, doing some like a coloring page. Sometimes they'll do crafts or build Legos or do some mindful breathing, or just sometimes they just need to chill and stare at the light wall and just bring themselves back. So students don't spend more than about 10 or 15 minutes there. It's not to be a place where they are, they're not there all day. They're not there hanging out throughout an entire class period, but it's really, I need a minute. I need to chill. And then they go back to their class. She does hold lunch groups for students who would like to be a part of lunch groups. They just have to go and get a pass from Mrs. Froeliger, and they can work with her during lunch. They can do some of those sensory activities during lunch. But it's really we have seen the benefits already just in this, first 6 weeks of school here for students, especially when it comes to testing. We see a lot of test anxiety. So students will go there 10 minutes before a test, breathe, get themselves into the right mindset, and then go back to class and be successful on their test. She also works closely with our school-based mental health therapist, Miss Tierney. And as Mrs. Froeliger is working with students in the chill room, if there seems to be something that maybe needs a higher level of support, she would then refer them to Miss Tierney, who would then reach out to parents if that's the next level of support that is needed for a student. And so this is really just a list here of all of our available resources. So as I said, we have our chill room educator, Mrs. Froeliger. We have our school-based mental health therapist, Ms. Tierney. We also have a school social worker, Mr. Jones, who works with our middle school students. And then, of course, our school counselors, Mrs. Perrott, Mrs. Hendel, and Mr. Perrott. So we are really working on trying to service the whole child here and making sure that we have the opportunities and resources for students to feel well enough then to go and do school.
Yeah, as Dr. Cremone said, this has been a focus for our school and our school district. And with yesterday being World Mental Health Day, it just puts a spotlight on the importance of making sure that we are well, not only our students, but also our staff. And we feel very proud of the layers of support that we have added. Our social hub is always available and open to you, and it's one great way to solve the problem that we always hear from our middle school parents. What's happening in school? When I ask my child, everything's fine. It was fine. How was your day today? It was fine. So one thing we're trying to do is really break down those walls, those barriers, and give you a kind of an eye into the school day. So on X, we have our handle at SFMS Lions, and also the hashtags we use. If you search those hashtags, especially the middle school one, hashtag SFMS Lion Pride, you will see all of the wonderful things happening in our school as we try to highlight those for those just feeling like they just don't know enough about what's happening during the school day. We're trying our best. Also on Instagram, you can see all the photos, information sharing that we are doing about the great things happening in our school. And as always, the school website is available. And if you travel to the school website and go to the middle school page, you'll find a lot of announcements, highlights, everything that we want to make sure you are aware of and we are communicating. In regards to that, we also are looking to create a subcommittee from our PAC committee. Our Parent Advisory Council is looking to create a subcommittee for fundraising. If you'd like to be a part of our fundraising committee, we are trying to reimagine, redesign the way we do fundraising here at the middle level. We know that it is a little different in the middle school than the traditional PTA from the elementary levels. However, our fundraiser is very important. It helps to fund a lot of different things like mini team t-shirts. It helps offset costs of field trips that occur, and also our fun events and activities that we're trying to host throughout the year, the holiday extravaganza, whether it be the Day of Giving, those type of events that pop up, or the end of the school year, where if we host a carnival or we have an end of year celebration, that's where we tap into that fundraiser, the funds raised through the fundraiser, so that we can just provide materials, fun things for our students to engage in. So if you are interested in being a part of this committee, we will have the link here for you to sign up, and you can be a part of that. We are planning to get together, have some meetings, and on that form you can tell us when you would be most free or available to meet. But we'd like to take a look at options that we can have where it could be fun to fundraise and for our students, and provide those activities and events that we're trying to do to just make the middle school experience the best it can be. And speaking of the middle school experience, we have a whole list of upcoming events happening here in the middle school. This is a busy time of the year, as you can tell. Almost every day there's something exciting happening. So we wanted to make sure that you had those events here at your fingertips. The first one coming up this week, the Hall of Fame football game, which is happening this week. Then also our 2-hour delay, our fall safety week, as we had mentioned, our fun Halloween dance happening on October 21st, which is sponsored by our Lionhearts Club. Lots of fun activities here. We won't read them all to you, but we wanted you to be aware of them.
And then finally, our next virtual parent advisory council meeting will be on Wednesday, January 10th at noon. I know this one was at 9. We try to alternate between 9 and noon to try to catch people maybe during their lunch hour or during a morning break. So we just wanted to make sure that you have that, mark your calendars, and we will send that Google Meet link again earlier that week of.